Hi, I'm often asked if I would demonstrate the painting of rocks in watercolor. I think that's probably because I was diagnosed with rocks in my head, and those rocks got in there through years of observation, of loving them and painting them, and looking at little things for clues on how they appear. To me, rocks' primary characteristic is that they're hard. They're not what look like in some paintings as gray marshmallows. They're not soft, they're not pillows, they're hard. And the best way to get that hardness is rocks with sharp angular planes. That's what I prefer in painting, is the rocks with sharp angular planes that define the light defines the planes. Here's the subject I'm going to do, and you'll notice in that the light is coming from above right, and so it's hitting the top plane most directly, hitting the plane facing us more obliquely, and the plane to the left less so. So there's three separate planes. Seeing those planes instead of the little details is paramount in painting them correctly. And throughout the painting, you need to maintain that same directional light source. Here's a little, no, not that one. No. Let's see, let me get the right camera here. There we go. This is a little drawing I did in preparation for this, and I wish in the drawing I had created a little lighter plane here, or else a darker plane over here. But that's why to do a drawing beforehand, so you can see the flaws and you're able to correct it in the painting. If you see it in the painting, it's a little more difficult. Okay, I'm going to begin. I've already done an initial light wash that, let me raise that up a little bit. I think that'll, yeah. Okay, I've already done this light wash that'll give me some ambient color, but not very dark, and just leaving the lightest planes, a few extra ones just in case I need them. Now I'm going to start by painting the planes in shadow, a little lighter here, a little darker over there, and then along the way I will soften a few edges so they're not all sharp, crisp edges. Let's see, let me do this. Then you can see my palette at the same time. I'm going to pick up some. This looks a little dark. Here's, by the way, how I check values. I drag it through the palette, and if very much palette shows through, I know I'm getting a very darker color. If it turns to light quite right behind my brush, which that is doing, it's not going to be that dark. And add a little more color. This will appear a lot darker to you than it should be, but you need to be aware it's going to dry quite a bit lighter than that. I'm going to go right here with a little, all right, now darker. Yep. For my darker darks, I like to use phthalo blue in combinations. That's not going to dry as light, as dark as you think. So that I have a soft edge there. Now I'm going to come back in here with a damp brush and take a few places before that has a chance to dry. The plane will still be defined. I just want a few intermediate values there. All right. No, I didn't want that. It will look spontaneous, but it doesn't mean it has to be done spontaneously. More deliberately. Notice I try to put down deliberate strokes that I don't go back in and tinker with. And as I go back to my palette, I try to choose another color or change the color I'm using slightly. Nope, actually that was a mistake. I wanted that green left in there. It's a mistake to define everything clearly. That's not the way we see. I'll let that receive a little reflected light. And let's pull a little dark right down in there. Now a secondary plane. Watercolor naturally creates some soft edges. If you put wet against wet. And just a little piece of value will define a plane with something. There. And I do feel a need for a secondary value here so that the plane turns in stages. Maybe up here also. It's another way to soften an edge. Just have a secondary value go between the white and this, and it will turn the edge slightly. Now I'm not going to complete this. This is a demo on the rocks, so I'll post the finished painting later on Facebook. Let's see. I can, however, briefly, I don't want this to be a long video. Little background stuff, and then too strong. Steak. Phthalo blue is so powerful. And a good strong blue-green right in here will just suggest these trees. And a few darker planes. Okay, that's it. A few accent darks. You can think in this way too of got a light plane, middle plane, and a dark underneath that receives no light. Those little accents can help develop that angular quality and the sense of planes catching the light. Then there's some little details I can scratch in or lift out later. Some little Okay, I'm going to take a brush, a very small brush, and paint with clear water a couple of lines for cracks in the plane there, and then take a paper towel and rub it. Gives me a little thin line, maybe a Then if I come in top of that, because the light falls obliquely down and catches the edge of that a little bit, but the crack itself is a little darker line right above that. That's the kind of detail that has a little authenticity to it. Okay, thank you for watching. Remember, if you like this, if this helps you at all, please click on subscribe, and I'll see you next time with another video. Thanks. Bye.